Okay guys, to be thorough, I already uploaded a video about making this PVC canister, and I'll put a link up in the upper right hand corner in case you find this video first, so you can go back and see what's going on with making this canister and what my thoughts are on that, if you're curious. So anyway, to be thorough, I thought we would go ahead and process some, and I'll show you what I'm doing. By no means would I consider this the end-all be-all to how to process brass. I'll just show you what I'm doing just to be complete. Maybe you get some ideas, maybe you give me some ideas. So the brass I'm going to be using, so I've got some range brass. This is military, Lake City fired, and this stuff's pretty nasty. You see it's got corrosion. I don't know if you can make that out or not, but there's already corrosion setting up down inside the cases. And so we're going to do a bunch of them, and I'll show you before and after. So in here, I have, these are Frankfort Arsenal pins. This stuff comes in a 5-pound pack. This is 2 pounds of pins I have weighed out. And once I weigh them out, I just leave them in there to dry out. I don't, I use them and put them right back in the container. Periodically, I'll roll them around, you know, just to make sure that they're drying out. But I just leave those pre-measured in there for the next batch. So here, let's start putting some in. Here's 100 Lake City. That's what 100 looks like. There's 120. There's 140. Let's take a look and see how many we've got. There's 140 in there. I'm getting pretty, I want it to be able to really roll and tumble there. I think I can fit about 20 more in there. There's 160. So you can see I'm getting pretty full there with 160 pieces of brass. That looks pretty good to me. We're going to go with that, see what that looks like. Okay, so we're going to use, I use about a 9mm cap full of this Limashine. That's just my measuring device. Like I said, nothing set in stone here. I'm going to go ahead and start filling this up, and I'm going to use cold water. Put a drop of dish detergent. So I'm filling that up. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's this residue that builds up on the side of the tumbler drum, and it seems to be oily. And you know, I don't know if it's some kind of tannins or whatever it's comes off of the brass, but it'll build up on there after a while. So I thought I would just put a little bit of simple green. This is the yellow simple green. Simple yellow, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to put a little of that in there, see if I can get some grease fighting in there. If that builds up too much, just wipe it out with something clean. So you see I've got a little bit of airspace in there, and that'll help that kind of tumble. Okay, so now we're just going to install our cap. Make sure the seal's not out of alignment there. And just snug it up. And I'm just going to check for leaks. I don't think I've got any. Feels like it's a good seal. And I like to shake the pins around a little bit prior. Make sure to get them off the bottom. I don't have to get started. You can hear those pins really rolling around in there. If you start slipping on the drum here, take some acetone or something like that. Just put it on a rag and wipe this off and make sure this is clean and the outside of the drum is clean, so it gets a good, it can actually get a grip on it. No problem. Piece of cake. Sometimes you got to give it a little shove with your hand to get it started, but you can hear it's making pretty good noise. You're getting a good tumble going on there. Good agitation. So I'm going to let this run for about an hour and a half, and then we'll take it, I'll show you how I separate the pins. I'll show you my method for what it's worth. Okay guys, it's been about an hour and a half. You see it's still running along nicely. It's pretty full. It's a large tumbler, but it's not very, you know, it's not warm or not hot or anything, so it doesn't seem to be loading it down, and I don't think you could fit much more in there. So After all, this is made to turn rocks, so I think they're probably heavier than brass. Anyway, so let's take it inside and let's get it cleaned up. Okay, we're ready to process this brass and clean it up, or get it separated and washed out. The first thing, let me show you a couple things I'm using here. I've got a separator. This is really a dry media separator. You can find this in, pretty much any of your reloading supplies. I use an oil pan that's been cleaned out so I don't get in trouble with Mrs. Treetop. Here's what the label looks like. I guess it's made by Blitz. The reason I like it is because it actually fits in my sink pretty well. So I can stick that down in there, and that's where I catch the pins. And once again on the Harbor Freight theme, I've got this magnet that I picked up at Harbor Freight. It's got a longer handle on it than I need, but I thought I could use it for other stuff too, picking up nuts and bolts or whatever. They make some just for reloading that have a much smaller handle. I'm sure they work just as good. The great thing about these pins is they are magnetic, so that makes separation easy. The first thing I'm going to do is try to pour off as much of this dirty water. Now you can see there's a lot of dirty water there. Look at that. Dump it right in there. I'm going to throw that up. They make separators for this, but I find that I want to look, every once in a while I get some pins stuck sideways, and I find that I want to look inside there just to make sure anyhow. So I end up handling them anyway. So I like to put them like this upside down and shake them. And once the pins are immersed in water, they fall out pretty easy. Then I'll literally take a look and just shine a light down inside and move on just to make sure I got them all out. That one's got a stuck pin. That one actually has a pin stuck in it sideways. That one's clear. Now let's just pick up our pins. Pick them up. Drop them. So that kept all the pins in the container. I don't have to worry about them going down the drain. It's a nice mess of brass for just a little bit of work. What I do, I just put them in a towel. Really try to work that, whatever's on the surface, get that water off of the surface as much as I can. Some people get staining if they let the water dry on there. I think everybody's water is different. Some people have hard water, different mineral contents, and that may contribute to it. But best if you just do it in cold water. That way it doesn't want to dry out before you get a chance to actually rub it off and dry it off. And we're going to throw these in the oven now. Okay, guys, there they are. Just fresh out, 160 of them. Didn't take too much work. Nice and clean. I ran them for about 250 in the convection oven for maybe 15 minutes, just to get them good and hot so that any moisture that's left inside will evaporate. All right, guys, that's a wrap for this video. Just wanted to get on film, make a video and show you the finished product, how I'm doing it. There is nothing sacred about what I'm doing here. You guys probably have some better idea. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. You can take from it or maybe even give me some better advice. So go ahead and hit me up with the comments down there. Hit the like button, do your thing. Thanks for watching. Treetop out.